Hi everyone. In this session, today now we are going to see one-time payments. We have discussed on uh, all these topics, right? So now we are going to discuss one-time payments. First, I'll explain on the scenario when we need one-time payments in Oracle Payables, and then we'll discuss on what are the steps that we are going to do, and we will do that in the instance. Here, one-time payments are one-off payments made to parties who are not suppliers in a Oracle system. So, Fusion Payables can process payment requests originating from internal sources, let's say from the other applications that are coming from purchase orders, receivables, or expenses, or it can process even from the external sources or other systems. If these payments are coming from external sources, if they are not originating from the other applications in Oracle system, then we call them one-time payments. Few real-time scenarios are organizations in education industry often need to make payments on account of student refunds. In this scenario, for the educational institution, student is not a supplier, but we need to make some refunds that tuition he paid, or maybe for some other scenarios, we may need to make a refund. So in those cases, we go for one-time payments for it. He will not be created, student won't be created as a supplier in Oracle system, but still we make a payment. Similarly, let's say organizations in healthcare industry may need to make payments to patient claims. So in these kind of scenarios, we can make use of one-time payments to avoid unnecessary supplier or bank setups. So, so you can import payment requests in bulk using FPDA functionality for one-time payments. When we use FPDA, payees and bank accounts will be created automatically. Payees created through one-time payment process cannot be used as suppliers in a standard invoice. So if we create a payee through this process, we cannot use that payee as a supplier, and we cannot create a manual invoice for him later point. They are meant for one-time payments, that's it. Now I'll move on to the process, the set of steps that we are going to do to execute this. Here if you see, first we will be setting up liability and expense account for the business unit under common options. Then we'll create a trading community source. So there are different sources for payables. Let's say if we are submitting payment request concurrent program, import payment request concurrent program, there is one field, input field source, which displays all the sources that are available in the Oracle. They will be coming up from a payables lookup. So we will be creating, first we'll be creating a source, and we will update that payables lookup whose name is source, so that when we are submitting um, import payables process, then we can see that source in the source lookup or value set. After that, we will download FPDA template. Then we'll update BU source in the FPDA template to generate the GIF, and we will generate the GIF file, and then we will upload the GIF file into the system. So I have written the navigations as well, so that when you are when we are trying to practice it, we can use this as a reference, or when we're doing it next time, we can use this as a reference. Then we will submit the load interface import process, and we'll submit the import payable payment request process, and then we will validate the invoices that are created through this process, and then we'll make a payments and we'll verify the payments. So we'll start with the BU first. We are going to create these one-time payment invoices under US1 BU. So let's go to US1 BU and see whether liability and expense accounts are set up for one-time payments. So now we are under US1 business unit. Under one-time payment section, let's ensure that liability and expense accounts are given, because these are optional fields. If we don't give it when we are importing the FBADA template for one-time payments, it can cause us issues. So we'll make sure that liability and expense account are provided for one-time payments in BU setups. So we are good here. Let me copy these two. Yeah, let me copy liability. Expense should be fine. We don't need it. Save and close. The next step we are going to do is we are going to create a trading community source. Manage trading community source systems. We are going to define the source system. So here we can enter the code name, and type should be spoke, and we should enable for trading community members. I have already created one. We will look at that. This is the one I have created. Let's review this. We have given code name, type is spoke, and enable for trading community members. So the next step is we should add this trading community source into Oracle Payables lookup with name source. So let's go to payable lookups. source is the lookup, and to this lookup I have already added. Let's search. So I have already added the trading community source that we have created to this finance lookup. And the next step that we are going to do is we are going to download the FBA template. The approach, the way to download is file-based data import for pay finance. We need to move to payables application, payable payment request import, payable payment request import. We should download this template. I have already downloaded the template, so I'll open that. So this is the payables payment request import template that I have downloaded. In this, we should need like when we actually doing for the first time, right? There will be some changes we need to do. It will consist of identifier, partner name, some unique reference number for them, and location, all the location address details, followed by the email address, some tax registration number. One thing is like when we import it for the first time, business event unit will be vision. It will be with name vision, but we should update it to the business unit in which we are going to create one-time payments. And we should update the source to the value that we have created and added into the payable source lookup. Invoice number, this is going to be a unique number that we'll be giving for each one-time payment for each record. So I'll make it 3, 4. Invoice date, we need to update it to the today's date. And this legal entity also we need to update. Basically, it will be different when we import the file. And this liability combination, this is the one we should update from the value that is there in the BU options. We have noted that in the Excel. So this is the value we copied from BU options, common options for payables and procurement for the US 1 BU. The same liability account we should use here. So it is the same. Even the distribution account also should be updated to the same liability account. Yeah, that's it. These are the main updates that we need to do in the imported file. I'm generating a CSV file. CSV and GIF file have been created. Now we can close this. And now let's move on to the instance. Navigate to the tools. File import and export. We will choose the file that we have just created now, GIF file, and account will be finance. It will be finance payments import. Let us cross check with the value that we have noted. Yeah, it is fin payables import. Save and close. This have uploaded the file. Now we have uploaded the file. Let us go back. The next step is we should submit the load program. Load interface file for import. Import process is going to be payment import. Import payable payment request. Data file is the one that we have uploaded just now. Submit. Load file to interface, that is completed. So now we are going to submit the next program. This we can do from invoices screen or from a tools schedule process. Import payment requests. Our business unit is US1 business unit. Source is one pay that we have created, and I'm submitting it. Let us go back to schedule processes. It is still running. Import payables payment request subprocess is still running. So now the programs have been completed, and if you see, it has submitted import payables payment request report. We can go to this report and see whether our invoices got imported or not. This is a BAP report. It tells us the business unit and the source for which we are trying to import. And if you see this, we in the Excel, in the FPDA file, we gave invoice number as 3 and 4, and they have successfully imported. Now we'll go back to the instance and see these invoices, and we will make the payment to the invoices, and we will review the accounting. Yeah, the two invoices, one pay invoice 3 and one pay invoice 4 are created. And if we observe one thing, invoice type is payment requested. So till now we have seen standard invoice and we have seen prepayment invoices. And even if you go to invoice screen and if you click on that LOV, invoice type, there will be credit memo, debit memo, and other options, but not payment requested. You can't do that manually. So we need to let's observe this invoice type, and this is different as this is a one type payment. Its type is payment request. So for these two, let's validate both of them. Okay, it's already validated. Let's post this. Okay, let us open the invoice. These are not accounted, but let's account it. Yeah, it's debited the expense and credited the liability account. And let's go back to the other invoice and let's do the accounting for that as well. Let's pay the invoices. Pay in full. Yeah, let's take standard check instead of payment document check stock A. Submit it. Payment number is 4049. Let's make a note of it and we will see the payment. And let's do the same for the other invoice. It's 4050. Let's navigate to payments page. Manage payments. 4049. Let's post it to the GL. It's debited the liability and credited the cash clearing account as expected. Let's do the same for other invoices as well. Debited the liability and credited the cash clearing. Now we see accounting status changed to accounted, and reconcile no, and this will be no till we do the reconciliation in cash management. So we have completed the one-time payments process. To summarize, I'll go back and we will see the steps here. So to summarize, one-time payments we do when we need to pay for a party who is not a supplier. And the main setups that we need to verify liability and expense account are given under common payables and procurement options for a given business unit. We need to create a trading community source, or we can use an existing one as well. It's not mandatory, but this is an optional. We are doing end-to-end process, so let's do that and see. And we need to add that source in the payables lookup source, so that when we are submitting payment process payables payments request program, this will show up in the lookup source value set. Then download the FBA template and make updates to FPDA template. The main updates will be, we need to update, basically we need to update the business unit, legal entity, and we need to update the liability account. And we need, if we are using the same template again and again, we need to update the invoice number as well. Then upload that file using file import and export, and then we need to submit the load interface file for import process program to load that into the application, the data in the file into the application tables. And then we need to submit import payables payment request program, which actually creates the one-time payment invoices. Then we will review the invoices and do the accounting, and we will make the payment for those invoices, and then we will post it to the GL. This completes one-time payments process.